people were asking me like, what do I think about this player? And it's like, I don't have grades on a lot of these shows, like Jacorian Bennett. I didn't have grades on Tre Tucker. To be honest with you, he wasn't even on my radar. So like, I'm in line with you. Like, I like the kid. I think this kid can be something special. I think what they did is they knew that us in the media would probably criticize this pick. I don't think that's any question, because all the analysts were saying, hey, look, this guy could have been had in those rounds that you just talked about. So the value wasn't there. Now we can look back in hindsight and say the value was or wasn't there, but in real time, it wasn't there for most people. So I can get on board with what you're saying. I'm trying to get on board with how they were doing it. And my line of thinking is they took the best return specialist that they felt would give them the best chance to have long-term success because of what happened with Hunter Renfrow last year. So, which begs the question, do you think Hunter Renfrow gets traded when it's all said and done?
In my heart of hearts, I still think it probably happens. It seems like taking another slot receiver that high. I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. It seems kind of 50-50 right now, but it really seems like they're shedding a lot of these guys they inherited. And it wasn't a super smooth first season with Hunter Renfrow. It was a big step down for him last year after signing that contract. I think he still has trade value. I think he can still be useful in the right place. I think he could be useful with the Raiders if he has the chance. And maybe they are going to give him another chance, but I would not be shocked if he's if there's one guy on the roster you'd ask me right now that there's going to be a trade involved, who's it's going to be, I think that he would have to be the leading candidate.
Okay, so let's talk about the wide receiver room as it currently stands. All right. If you subtract Hunter Renfrow, so you have Davante Adams, help me out here. Davante Adams, Jakobi Meyers, Philip Dorsett, Tre Tucker. Who else we got?
And someone else too, right?
Andre Carter. Carter's there.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The kick returner.
Yeah.
DeAndre Carter. Excuse me. DeAndre Carter.
Okay, DeAndre Carter. That's who I was looking for. Yeah, there you go. Took me a second.
And then, I mean, like, where does he fit? Like, I mean, how many wide receivers are you going to keep? You're going to keep like 7 wide receivers? Like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I mean, maybe I do think they carried one more into the regular season last year than we thought, maybe, because both at the time, both Tyron Johnson and DJ Turner made the team. So it's not unprecedented that Josh McDaniels could bring one more than we think. But, more than likely it's not going to be that many.
What do you think Hunter Renfrow's value is if we trade him? 3rd rounder?
If you can get a 3rd rounder, then I can't even hate on the trade. My first thought was more of a 4th rounder. Especially coming off that year. It wasn't a cheap contract they signed him to. So I would think more of a day 3 pick, unfortunately, if you're a Raiders fan. But I think I think if they can get a 3rd round pick, that increases the likelihood he's gone.
So Darren Waller was traded for a 3rd round pick, number 100 overall. But it's interesting because Hunter Renfrow, to me, I don't know. I thought he was going to be the next like Julian Edelman, bro. Like and Coach McDaniels, I thought he was maybe not on that scale, but you know what I mean? I thought he was going to have a really, really good year to wipe your hands clean off of just one injury riddled season. But then he wasn't really like comfortable. Like, so I don't know. I'm fighting with myself because I like Hunter Renfrow. I know what he can bring to the table. We all know that he's a top 5 slot machine the year prior to that, right? I don't think anyone's questioning that. So like if you're a GM and you see the value of trading a guy like this, but then, like you said, injuries. He had a concussion. What else did he have? Did he have some other injuries? What was it?
Yeah, maybe something ribs or something or other. I want to say.
So that is a cost for concern. I think you're right. I think ultimately is going to end up being a day 3 pick. So when it happens, I'll be like, you heard it here. Case Keefer making the case.
Or maybe he has a 2nd Pro Bowl season. Who knows? That could happen too. I mean, the guy has enough talent and heart and everything else. So it just comes down to what they want to do with him. But I think a trade is, if you're saying a trade can happen, you're wrong. It's certainly one of the options on the table right now.